Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu.
come over here and put this on. Charlotte, Mazel Tov. We are so proud of you this morning, and it's time to put on your talit for the first time as a bat mitzvah. Do you remember the blessing? Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. Yep, amen. Beautiful. We also have this copy of the Tanakh for you. Cantor and I have signed it. Certificate for bat mitzvah. I'm going to give it to your parents, so you don't have to hold it during the service. Mazel Tov. So proud of you. We'll have you join us up here. We'll have you sit down. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome, everyone. I'm Rabbi Jason Rodich. This is Cantor Arik Luck. We are so glad to have you. Those of you in the courtyard, those of you at home on Zoom, and this beautiful Shabbat morning, we take a deep breath in together, bring ourselves into this moment. We have lots of other cameras. I welcome those of you here to just put your phones down and be present. And we're going to begin our service together on page 86. Charlotte, you're going to teach us a lot of Torah this morning, so we want to begin with a blessing for the study of Torah. It's at the top of page 86 in your book. There you go, you had it.
Charlotte, go to the other mic.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen. Blessed are you, God, who commands us to engage with words of Torah, and we will this morning. We have a beautiful morning breaking through the fog in San Francisco, a beautiful service to come, and we join now together in song on page 100 with the words of Psalm 150.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, kol anshama te'alel. Hallelujah, hallelujah, kol anshama te'alel. Hallelu, hallelu el bekodsho, hallelu, hallelu berkiyauzo, hallelu, hallelu begvurotav, hallelu, hallelu gero gudlo. Hallelujah, hallelujah, kol anshama te'alel. Hallelujah, hallelujah, kol anshama te'alel. Hallelujah, hallelujah, v'teka shofar, hallelujah, hallelujah, v'never v'chinor, hallelujah, hallelujah, v'tof u'machor, hallelujah, hallelujah, v'min v'yogav. Hallelujah, hallelujah, kol anshama te'alel. Hallelujah, hallelujah, kol anshama te'alel. Hallelujah, hallelujah, v'tzitzlei shama, hallelujah, hallelujah, v'tzitzlei truah, kol haneshama te'alel. Kol haneshama te'alel. Hallelujah, hallelujah, kol anshama te'alel. Hallelujah, hallelujah, kol anshama te'alel.
We continue on page 108 as we rise for Baruch Hu.
Hallelujah, Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Leolam Vaed.
Say the Shema together. Take a moment to look at the beautiful morning light. Hear the air, feel the air. If you're not with us in this courtyard, take a look out your window. Notice the beautiful morning light wherever you are. The Shema is on page 114 if you're in the book. If you have it in your heart, close your eyes, and together we'll offer the words of Shema.
Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated, and Charlotte will continue leading us in the words of Via Hafta on page 116.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך וביתך ובלכתך בדרך וכשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתם מארץ מצרים להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
The next blessing, the next song is Micha Mocha. It's on page 122. It's the song that our people sang when they crossed the sea from Egypt to the land of Israel. And in many ways, it's a metaphor of crossing from one place to another. And I'm thinking about being a bat mitzvah and crossing from childhood into teenage years. I'm thinking about our society, God willing, crossing into a better future ahead of us after a difficult year behind us. It's a metaphor that is common in many spiritual traditions, the idea of leaving hardship and difficulty, or leaving something behind of who we were to who we will become. So let's sing together on page 122.
Adonai,
enter the heart of our prayer service with the words of the Amidah. It will be Charlotte leading us in prayer today. The Amidah begins on page 124. The word Amidah means standing, so we do rise for this prayer. We stand, and we are taught to imagine as though we are in front of some kind of a divine, majestic presence. So whatever it is that you need to kind of step out of where you are right now and into a different kind of presence, that's what this prayer invites us to. Page 124. Whenever you're ready, Charlotte.
Adonai sifaf taktif taf ufia gita ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rahel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Hasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Hasdei Avot v'Imot Umevei Geula Livnei V'Nehem Le'eman Shimo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshie U'Magan Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mehayei HaKol Ra'a V'Hoshihai Morid Hatel Mechalkel Hayim Behesed Mehayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somef Noflim Verofeh Holim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Micha Mocha Bal Gevurot Umido Mehelach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Atah L'hayot HaKol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayei HaKol
נקדש את שמך בעולם, אישים שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אנו אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם. אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחי קדושתך נקדיש בשמך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש לעולם נבעד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We now take a few moments for quiet prayer. When you are ready for your prayers to be done, then please be seated.
thank you, Holy One. Thank you, Holy One. Thank you, Holy One. Thank you, Holy One. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Imutenu le'olam evaed tzur yishenu, Magen yishenu, Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Atahu ledor vador. Thank you, Holy One. Thank you, Holy One. Thank you, Holy One. Thank you, Holy One.
It is now time to turn to our Torah service as we prepare to invite this bat mitzvah to come to Torah for the first time. It is such a day of joy. It is my pleasure to invite up the generations of Charlotte's family to symbolically pass down Torah to her, as well as Edie and Josephine Hughes to remove the cover of the talit from the Torah scroll. So please come on up over here.
Al shlosha devarim.
Take that cover off the top.
Al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim.
And that's it. You can go back down.
Ha'olam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed.
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Alai, lai, 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 alai, lai, 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 alai, lai, 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 lai. Ay, 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 lai, 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 lai. Ay, 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 lai, 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 alai, lai, 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 alai, lai, 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 lai. Ay, 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 alai, lai, 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 lai. Ay, 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 lai, 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 alai, lai, 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 lai. Ay, 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 lai, 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 ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 lai, 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 lai.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. I've had the pleasure of working with Charlotte on this Torah portion for quite a while, as we figured out when exactly this bat
Freezing.
mitzvah would happen. And as she'll talk about in a little bit, it turned out to be the very perfect Torah portion for this Shabbat. We get into the details of priests examining all these conditions, but I don't want to give it away because she has a beautiful take on it. So we're going to wait for Charlotte's teaching. For the honor of the first Aliyah, we are joined remotely by Diana and Israel Kogan and Kathy and Stephen Hughes. Ya'amdu la'aliyah ha'torah. Please go ahead and begin the blessing. Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Va'ed.
Haolam asher bahar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe ve'el Aharon le'emor. Adam ki yeh be'or besaro se'et o sepachat o baheret ve'haya be'or besaro le'negat sarat ve'huva el Aharon hakohen o el ahad mibanav hakohanim ve'ra'a hakohen et hanega be'or habasar ve'se'ar b'hanega hafach lavan umar'e ahanega amok be'or besaro nega sarat hu ve'ra'ahu hakohen ve'timei oto.
All right, and Diana and Israel and Kathy and Stephen, we invite you to say the blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Amen. And thank you all for what you have done to bring this child to Torah today. Whether you are here in this courtyard or from afar, we feel your love and presence. For the honor of the second Aliyah, it is my pleasure to invite Mia, Noah, Kate, Marie, Matt, and Adam. Ya'amdu la'aliyah hasheni. And since we're in a group, I will count to 3 for you, and then you will begin. 1, 2, 3.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Asher Bashar Banu Mikol Ha'amim Banan El Torato
Noten
HaTorah.
Amen. Ve'im baheret levanav hiv be'or besaro ve'amok ein mar'e amin ha'or usfara lo hafach lavan v'hiskir hakohen et hanega shiv'at yamim ve'rahu hakohen bayom hashvi'i ve'hinei hanega amad be'einav lo fasah hanega ba'or ve'hiskiro hakohen shiv'at yamim shenit ve'ra'ah hakohen oto bayom hashvi'i shenit ve'hinei keha hanega ve'lo fasah hanega ba'or. V'tiharo hakohen mispachat hiv, v'hibes begadav v'tihar. Ve'im tasa tivsei hamispachat ba'or acharei heraoto el hakohen letaharato v'nir esenit el hakohen v'ra'a hakohen v'hinei pasta hamispachat ba'or v'timo hakohen zarat hiv.
And go ahead and offer the blessing after the reading.
Fine.
Right? Ta Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam
emet v'chayei olam notav b'Eloheinu baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Thank you so much. This Aliyah can be seated. For the honor of the third Aliyah, we have Charlotte's parents, Jessica and Cameron, and her sister Mila. Ya'amdu la'aliyah hashlishi.
Right here. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Baruch
Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Negat sarat ki tihyeh be'adam vehuva el hakohen vera'ah hakohen vehinei se'et levanav ba'or vehi havcha se'ar lavan umichyat basar chai bas eit sarat noshenet hiv be'or besaro vetim'o hakohen lo yaskirenu kitimehu ve'im peroach tivrach hatzarat ba'or vehista hatzarat et kol or hanega merosho ve'ad raglav lekol mar'ei einei hakohen vera'ah hakohen vehinei hista hatzarat et kol besaro vetiharet hanega kelu hafach lavan tahor hu.
Beautiful. Thank you so much to all three of you for having brought this child to Torah. Please offer the I know. I'm inviting it. Thank you.
1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam notav b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Beautiful. Thank you so much. And now, Charlotte, it is your turn to be called to Torah as a bat mitzvah. This is your aliyah. Ta'amod, ta'amod, ta'amod. Sarah bat Yehudit v'Cameron, la'aliyah ha'torah. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Uveyom heraot bo basar chai itma vera'ah hakohen et הבשר חי וטמאו, הבשר חי טמאו, צרעת הוא, כי ישוב, הבשר חי ונהפך ללבן, ובא אל הכהן וראו הכהן, והנה נהפך הנגע ללבן, וטיהר הכהן את הנגע טהור הוא. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Yasher Koach, that you did such a beautiful job, beautifully chanted. I'm going to ask you to place the cover back on top of the Torah scroll.
Shalom, 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 shalom. את חיים היא למחזיקים בה בצאן המאושר, את חיים היא למחזיקים בה בצאן המאושר. שלום, 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 shalom.
And we now invite you to chant the Haftarah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim, veratza v'divreihem hane'emarim ba'emet. Baruch atah Adonai Habocher b'Torah u'v'Moshe avdo u've'Yisrael amo u'v'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Ve'ish ba miba'al shalisha vayaveh leish ha'elohim lechem bikurim asurim, lechem seorim vecharmel batziklono, vayomer tein la'am veyochelu, vayomer meshareto ma eten zeh lifnei mea ish, vayomer tein la'am veyochelu, ki ho amar Adonai echol vehuter, vayoten lifneihem, vayochelu vayoteru kidvar Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'osei המדבר ומקיים שכל דבריו אמת וצדק, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבת הזה שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה, לכבוד ולתפארת. על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך, יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Yasher Koach, really, really beautifully chanted. And we now have the great pleasure of hearing your teaching for us on this Shabbat morning.
Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Congratulations. You are almost done with this service. Right now, I'll be talking about my Torah portion I just sang to you in Hebrew. Allow me to just start off with the fact that I got the portion sometimes referred to as that portion, as subject to it being boring and a little bit gross. However, little did I know that my Torah portion was about to take on epic relevance and gain a whole new meaning and connection to my modern day life. Well, what exactly is my portion? My Torah passage focuses on how to diagnose someone with leprosy and how long they would have to isolate based on the severity of their condition. The portion also includes specific steps the priests, which were essentially the Israelites, scientists or medical professionals, should take to pronounce someone pure. It is simply just a portion talking about leprosy. However, if you take a step back, it actually seems my portion is a bit more than just leprosy. It teaches us how to both diagnose and protect ourselves and our community from getting sick. Its job is to educate us on how to, again, protect the community. And this caused me to make an immediate connection to scientists' jobs during this pandemic. They are instructing us on how to prevent the spread of COVID, while also educating us about the disease and the implications of the disease to the community. This was one of the first connections I saw between my portion and our modern day lives. However, I do see another very undeniable connection from my Torah portion to now. This connection is my portion from 2,000 years ago and the communication we receive today on COVID-19 both emphasize community versus individual. My passage essentially tells priests that if anyone is identified with even a mild case of leprosy, they must quarantine alone for at least 14 days. So 2,000 years ago, imagine this. No internet, no entertainment, no connection, no touching, no family, friends, animals, anyone, or anything, honestly. Pretty harsh. Fast forward to today in quarantine. A word we are all now deeply familiar with has the same meaning. Although we do now have internet, this concept of quarantining for the community seems to have lasted. To give an example, one time I got back from a family trip where I was hanging out and eating with a few people. Although I was positive that I did not have COVID, I still decided to quarantine. I decided to quarantine not because of me or anyone in my family, but because of the older people I passed by at the grocery store, the kids in my class who visit their grandparents, the list goes on. And this decision to quarantine is exactly what the Torah emphasizes. Quarantine for the sake of not necessarily the individual, but the community. Lastly, there is one more thing I would like to bring some more emphasis to about my Torah portion, the education piece of it. As I have mentioned, this portion's purpose is to educate. And it truly highlights to me why education in general is so gravely important. It shows how it can protect people and, in fact, save lives. Without education, I'm not quite sure where I would be. Certainly not reading the speech. And without education for the Israelites on leprosy and education for us on COVID-19, we would certainly not be where we are now. on the hopeful other side of this pandemic. Because of this, I value education as one of the most powerful tools one can give. To conclude, my previously boring portion and extremely irrelevant portion is clearly a bit more relevant now. It has shown me the importance of education and the value of those who educate us, and the importance of my very own community. Thank you.
Jessica and Cameron, it's your question.
Okay. Can you hear me? Good. Charlotte, you were named after your great-grandfather Charlie, the father of Nani, and your great-grandmother Sarah, the mother of Appa. Both are remembered dearly for their kindness and incredible contributions to this world. You are a joyful memory of their souls each and every day. Shashi Bell, you are the light of my heart, the oxygen in my breath, and the appendage I would gladly choose 1 billion times over. Thank you for your never-ending love and choosing to rise above time and time again. The last year has been a challenge. You shared with me that loss of routine is what led you to lean in more to the activities and learning you could access. And you said it made you feel stronger. You turned lemons into lemonade, and this, my dear, is the recipe of life. You have the power to choose joy, even in the most challenging or unpredictable circumstances. And as the world continues to change, even as I speak to you right now, this I know to be unchangeable and true. Falling is a part of life. Get back up and learn. Never give up, but carry the lesson with you. Don't wish it away. Listen to your gut. You may not like what she says, but she knows, and she will help you navigate your challenges. Your love is a gift. You are a giver, and it pours out of your veins with joy. Give to you as you give to others. Your world is defined by you and not what others think. Only you. Believe in yourself, and others will follow. Always. My darling Shashi, I love you more than the moon, the stars, the sky, the sun, and even more than that. Mazel tov, my love.
Yes. Well, kiddo, you made it. I knew you would. There's a little smiley face there. So now I'd like you to take a deep breath and savor the moment with your family here. You did it. Fantastic work. Honestly, Charlotte, you were one of the most amazing people I know, and I'm very proud to be your father. Your strength and resilience are admirable. Your desire to do your very best is always an absolute inspiration. I would gladly forego Super Bowl, World Cup, and World Series tickets to watch you play soccer. Your sweetness, generosity, and affection for your friends and family are genuine and true. Because of that, you are virtually surrounded by people who both love and adore you. It is my hope for you that this be forever true. This is what happiness is all about. As well, it is my hope for you that you always stay true to yourself. This, too, is the foundation of happiness. And of course, it is my hope that you continue to reach for the stars, baby, because nothing is out of your grasp. That I know in my heart. Not a day has gone by that I am not proud to be your father, Charlotte. I love you, and Mazel Tov.
Okay. So today would not be possible without all of you. Thank you for joining me on my journey to becoming a young adult, most especially in these less than ideal circumstances. I would especially like to thank my friends for always being there for me whenever I need them. To everyone who joined via Zoom from Montreal, Missoula, New York City, Tel Aviv, everything and nothing without you. Thank you for your constant, nonstop, 24/7 love. To everyone who has joined me on Zoom to ensure that you're keeping us all safe, thank you. I hope you leave my ceremony feeling more connected, less alone, knowing that your selflessness is helping all of us. I may not be able to see you in person, but I can feel you. Thank you for showing up and being here in the best way possible. Lastly, today I would like to remember Nina Beckman. She was born in early 1938 in Minsk, Belarus. Her father went by the name Eliyahu and mother Esther. Unfortunately, she passed during the Holocaust in her hometown. The date of her passing is unknown. However, may her memory be a blessing.
Perfect. Charlotte, it is a pleasure to be one of your rabbis, and on this day of your bat mitzvah, I want you to know how fabulous I think you are. Yeah. That's the camera? Okay. I didn't realize we had a camera issue. Mazel tov. I'm very proud of you. In the time that we've worked together, I've seen such strength in you. And it's a strength that's reflected in our Torah. And I want you to know how proud I am to be one who passes Torah on to you, and to trust you with Torah. And we cannot wait to see all the wonderful things that you will do and the ways you will grow. And Cantor Luck and I would now love to give you this ancient blessing.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and may God protect you.
Ya'eh Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's presence always be with you and may God be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom.
May God's presence always shine upon you. And we wish you most of all the blessing of shalom, the blessing of wholeness, a life filled with peace and love. Together we say amen.
Amen.
Mazel tov. You can have a seat for a moment. Before we conclude our service, we take a moment to remember those who have died recently or at this time in years past. If you are remembering someone, please go ahead and share their name. Or if you are joining us remotely, please feel free to enter their name into the chat. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divra chirotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayed d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam ulmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen.
At this time, if you're holding a prayer book, put it on the chair behind you. Charlotte, come on up to the bima, and anybody else who's in your bubble can come up with you. And everybody watching on Zoom should, if you're watching with somebody else, please find the shoulder of that person with your arm. We pray for peace. Oh, עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו amen. Now you can clap your hands. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. יאללה 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 יאללה. יעשה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו
Mazal Tov, Shabbat Shalom. And I think if you'd like to say hello to your guests, you can do so over here for a moment. Oh,
we have
forgot
candy.
The candy. I didn't know.
Prepare
Come
for
back.
the candy.
Grab the candy.
Grab the candy. Charlotte, stand right by the Torah.
Come on
All
up.
right. On the count of shalosh. Echad, shtayim, shalosh. Mazel tov!
Mazel tov!
Simen tov, a mazel tov, a mazel tov, a simen tov, a mazel tov, a mazel tov, a simen tov, a mazel tov, a simen tov. Yehelanu, 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 ulecho Yisrael, yehelanu, yehelanu, ulecho Yisrael, yehelanu, yehelanu, ulecho Yisrael, yehelanu, yehelanu, ulecho Yisrael. Mazel tov, Shabbat
Mazel
shalom!
tov, Shabbat Shalom.
Now, if you go over to the computer, we will unmute it and you'll be able to talk to your Zoom guests for a little bit.